Senator Ted Kennedy continues to inspire this morning, more than 5 years after his death. President Obama will travel to Boston today to help dedicate a new institute in Kennedy's name. It honors the senator's passion, commitment, and ability to bridge political gaps. Chip Reid received a tour of the center before its official opening. He is in Boston. Chip, good morning.
Ted Kennedy personally certainly had his share of scandal and personal controversy, but when it came to getting legislation passed and signed into law, he was one of the most productive U.S. senators in history. A large part of that is because he reached across the aisle, and that is a central theme of this institute that will be dedicated here later today.
So here is the chamber.
Wow, it does look like the Senate floor. The star of the show with the new Edward M. Kennedy Institute for the U.S. Senate is a full-size replica of the Senate chamber.
This is his seat.
Where Institute President Gene McCormick says the public will learn about a body Kennedy served in for more than 45 years. So JFK, his brother, and Ted Kennedy both sat at the same desk.
Sat at the same desk.
In the weeks leading up to today's official opening, some lucky middle school and high school classes got to see how it works, being sworn in as senators and writing, debating, and voting on legislation.
What we want this to be is active participation.
Are you inspiring future voters or future senators?
We hope we're inspiring both.
That's what Kennedy had in mind when he started making plans for the Institute long before he was diagnosed with brain cancer. He died in 2009 before construction began. Across the hall from the Senate floor is a replica of Kennedy's office full of family photos and mementos. This is kind of the Patrick wall right here. A lot of pictures of you and your father.
Well, I was so blessed because my dad allowed me to be part of his public life.
Kennedy's son, former Congressman Patrick Kennedy, told us how his father connected with his colleagues.
My father was Ted Kennedy. People were intimidated by him. But when they saw that he loved dogs, when he had kids around, when he was around his family, it immediately softened them up and allowed my father really to do the business of this nation. There are great pictures of him and Orrin Hatch and John McCain and Mike Enzi and all these Republicans, and you'd say, how could that happen? He was a big liberal. Well, it's because people liked working with Ted, the man. And that's what made him Senator Kennedy.
Yes, he could be highly partisan and fiercely passionate.
You hear that? We are excluded from having an opportunity to debate this because of the power of the insurance industry.
When Ted Kennedy got fired up on the floor of the United States Senate, we didn't need the sound system.
On CBS Face the Nation Sunday, Kennedy's former Senate colleagues from both parties recalled that passion. Republican John McCain said that despite repeated rounds of verbal combat, the two remained friends because they worked at it, like the time Kennedy gave McCain's 6-year-old son the best birthday party ever.
We took him out to a Coast Guard cutter. We had a tour of the entire Boston Harbor for my son Jim. 3 different birthday cakes, 3 different times they sang happy birthday to him.
President Obama and Vice President Biden both worked with Ted Kennedy in the Senate, and both will be here later today to honor him. And by the way, Nora, this institute will open to the public tomorrow.
All right, Chip, I know you covered him, too, up on Capitol Hill for many years. Interesting to see. What a great thing to have that replica of the U.S. Senate floor for students to pretend like they're lawmakers in his office.
And to encourage active participation, so important. But talk about Ted Kennedy, the man, for a second. Just the fact that he was able to work both sides of the aisle so well.
I thought one of the senators said he would make things work in the Senate today if he were there.